Welcome back. You're watching NDTV. Profit markets are trading at the low of the day. We have a cut of a third of a percent on the Nifty and the Sensex. Now the Sensex is down about 100 points. So after a day where we've seen a lot of volatile action, the markets have moved lower. The Nifty down 30 points or thereabouts. It's not a big cut compared to what we saw a day earlier, but the pullback that we were expecting was very short-lived. Let's welcome in our next guest. We have Ruchit Jain, Equity Technical Analyst at Angel Broking, and Imtiaz Qureshi, Co-founder and Director at Investeria Financial Services, joining us from Mumbai. Thank you, Ruchit and Imtiaz, for being with us at NDTV Profit. Ruchit, do you see the action today on the Nifty as a conclusive sign of a breakdown? What are your top picks?
Yeah, good afternoon. See, already we are seeing a low top, low bottom formation since the last 4 to 5 weeks, and the recent pullback didn't even cross this falling trend line resistance. So I think today's move is just a continuation of this recent corrective correction which is already going on in the markets. Now on the lower side, we are not seeing any sort of reversal sign yet. So unless any sort of reversal comes in, so I think this low top, low bottom should continue. And 84, 80, 82, 84, 70 right now where the index is trading is the support zone. But looking at the stocks and the heavyweights which are correcting, the market breadth is also quite negative. So I think the support will be breached and index would head lower, further lower towards 8430, 8420 levels.
What are your top picks, Ruchit?
In stock specific, we are going short on the OMCs at current levels. Although this space has shown good outperformance in the last few months, but as of now we are seeing some sort of negative divergence on the daily charts. Also, the short-term moving averages are showing negative crossovers from its medium-term moving averages. Hence, we are expecting some sort of corrective move in the stock. BPCL could be shorted at current levels, keeping a stop loss above 670, expecting target of around 620, 622. So I believe for next 1 or 2 trading sessions, one can go short on OMCs, and BPCL would be the top picks in that.
All right. Bearish on oil marketing companies. Imtiaz, what are your top picks?
As of now, we are just keeping a watch on the market. Not exactly we are making any recommendation because since the market is almost trading below 8,500, which was from last 3 month bottoms. So unless if maybe today, definitely we're going to close below 8,500, and if at all this maintain, then the downside would definitely open till 8,450 to 8,400, and from that level we can see some accumulation happening. But as of now, there is no long positions we are recommending. But downside, we are looking for banking stocks to be accumulated like SDFC Bank, SBI. These are the good stocks which have shown some sort of a correction and would see on a decline buy.
Okay, HDFC Bank, one of the picks from Imtiaz. Ruchit, the markets have consolidated a lot. Would there be any stocks which will be on your radar to buy if we see a slight more correction, a couple of percent more correction on the frontline indices? Would you then consider buying any stocks?
Recently, if we are observing some sort of outperformance in any stock, I think that could be considered as a buying opportunity. Last 3-4 trading sessions, we have seen some good up move in coming in Mahindra and Mahindra. So that is one of the stocks which we are considering to go long even in this market fall. Already the stock has shown a decent correction in last couple of months, and recent low also coincides with several support which was 89 EMA on the weekly charts, as well as 50% retracement of its entire previous up move. So I think very stock specific. If anyone wants to go long, it should be very stock specific. One should avoid mid cap space as of now, because even today we have seen that if you take the top 10 to 12 heavyweights in the Nifty index, then except Infosys, none of the other stocks have shown any major correction. That's why we are not seeing any sharp fall in the Nifty index. But if you observe the mid cap stocks and the market breadth, then definitely that's much negative than what the index is showing. So one should not do any kind of bottom fishing in the mid-cap stocks, because I think some sort of corrective move would still continue in mid-cap names. But amongst the large-cap names, if some of the stocks have shown outperformance, then I think one can look to go along it at such stocks. M&M would be one of the stock which I think on the higher side could do well in next 2 to 3 weeks. one can go long around current levels or on any sort of dips around 1340, 1350. Keep a stop loss below 1310. And we're expecting target of 1450 in 1 month's time frame.
All right. Look at the large cap stocks which have been outperforming. If you are looking to buy something, M&M being one of the picks that Ruchit has. Imtiaz, would you look at selling anything at this point of time? Do you think perhaps now is not the best time, it's too late to sell anything? Um, or are there some stocks that could definitely move lower?
One thing is very much clear right now that already we have seen a big sell-off from the level of 8750. Right now we are almost given a damages of 250 point on the Nifty. And I suppose that if at all the more decline comes, then there would be some NBFC stocks which would be looking weakness on the chart, like DHFL is there, India Bull Finance is there. So these two stocks are looking negative at the current level, but selling would be advisable, would be very much difficult because already we have seen a downtrend, and keeping a tight stop loss and can go short in DHFL and India Bull Housing Finance.
Okay, so negative on housing finance companies, Divan Housing Finance and India Pulse Housing Finance. Ruchit, what do you do of the metal counters? Hindalco, even on a day when the markets seem to be breaking down, is still up quite well. For the last couple of sessions, it has gained pretty well. Vedanta is no different. Hindustan Zinc, NMDC, all these counters have done reasonably well over the last 1 week. Do you like any of these?
So I don't think that metal counters would show any major correction from current levels, because recent outperformance has been backed by very good volumes. So that is one of the positive signs. Yes, in case the markets continue this corrective phase, then we may say some sort of time-wise correction rather than price correction. So for very short term, if anyone wants to trade for next 2 to 3 days or about a week or so, then I don't think there's significant upside there in these counters also. But they won't correct also; they would remain sideways. And in this sideways counter, if any sort of dips come, then I know Hindalco and Vedanta would be the two stocks which should be looked for buying up. But that too would be on declines rather than current levels.
All right, so look for dips in Hindalco, Vedanta to buy if one is looking for some trading gains. What about bank stocks, Ruchit? We've heard that you like HDFC Bank. We've heard Imtiaz say that HDFC Bank is a good idea. What does one do, and is the strategies going to be different between private sector banks versus PSU banks? We've seen the Yes Bank correct and see sharp profit taking, but you know, some PSU banks have not fallen too much like SBI or BNB. What would you do with banks?
Yes, definitely. I think that in short term, at least, this PSU banks and private sector banks won't perform in tandem with each other. Last 3 4 trading sessions, we are observing some sort of strength in certain private sector banks, such as Kotak Bank is there, HDFC Bank is there. Even ICICI Bank has not shown any sort of no major correction from its in the recent past. So I think this private sector banks have shown some good outperformance, and we may see this outperformance continuing. So we are not expecting any major fall coming in the private sector space as of now. Even Axis Bank, although the stock has corrected significantly in last 2 months, this corrective is at the stock is at the end of an impulsive fifth wave of an impulsive down move. So I think some sort of relief rally or some sort of sideways move could be seen in private sector banks, which would due to which the bank nifty will not show significant correction. But rather, if you observe the PSU banking space, then definitely the chart structure looks much negative or weaker, and specifically on the mid cap PSUs names, such as if you take such as Bank of Baroda is there, Syndicate Bank is there. So some sort of mid cap PSUs would tend to correct in the short term, but they do not carry much weightage on the bank nifty front. Hence, that would not impact much to the bank nifty index. If you are looking to trade anything on the banking sector, then I think private sector banks would show some sort of strength or remain sideways, and PSU banks would show some sort of corrective move in short term.
Okay, so avoid the mid-cap PSU bank names. That's the advice that Ruchit has. But private sector banks could be looked at as safe havens when the markets do stabilize. Ruchit, what is your call on some of the auto stocks? We've seen outperformance from stocks like Maruti. They've done very well. Something like Ashok Leyland, which had previously underperformed, seems to be stabilizing, showing some signs of strength. What do you do with auto stocks?
Yeah, so auto sector as of now, doesn't seem that there would be significant fall. Specifically, we like two stocks. We have already discussed M&M within this name, and even Ashok Leyland is one of the stocks which I think has been showing some good outperformance to the index. Now, in the recent past, when the Ashok Leyland, when the stock had corrected from 112, 115 levels, clearly it was forming a low top, low bottom formation. But in last couple of weeks, there are good positive signs coming in, wherein 5 days of exponential moving average has given positive crossover from its 20-day EMA. Now that's a positive sign, wherein the short-term moving average gives crossover to medium-term moving average. Also, the volumes have started coming in, and there's an impulsive up move seen in this recent up move. So I think this outperformance could be there in Ashok Leyland as well. On the higher side, the stock has potential to rally up to 98 levels probably in next 2 to 3 weeks of time frame. So M&M and Ashok Leyland, these two are the counters within the auto space which can be traded with positive bias.
Imtiaz, your call on the auto stocks?
Very much in line, not too much aggressive on the auto sectors, but yes, Ashok Leyland is one of the outperformer stocks from last couple of trading session. And what we had seen from the Ashok Leyland that around 93 rupees, there is a very tough resistance on a daily chart. So once this 93 get call off on the closing basis, then stocks will tend to show a new bull rally, and which will be definitely going to around 103 to 105 on a upper side. So yes, looking for the Ashok Leyland only about 93 rupees as a positiveness till 108, 110 target.
Okay, 108, 110 possible on Ashok Leyland. As for the markets, the Sensex and the Nifty at this point of time are trading at the low of the day with a cut of a fourth of a percent. Over the last 10 minutes, we have seen some stocks move lower and some have moved higher as well, but stocks like NMDC have moved lower on strong volumes. We're also seeing the likes of Jubilant Life moved lower, Cosmos Films, Sunil High Tech, all of these are seeing some amount of profit taking. Ruchit, you were saying that mid caps as a space should be avoided for the time being if the markets continue to correct. Are there any stocks that are looking quite weak in the mid cap space? We have seen the likes of, say, a Dish TV. It has lost a lot of ground in the last few days. Some stocks like Tata Chemicals, Voltas, Syntex, all of these have been losing ground. Would you pick up any of these mid-cap stocks and look for a short sale?
Yeah, among these specific names which we have just taken, I think Dish TV could be looked to go short at current levels also, because the stock rather last 1.5 months has been in the consolidation phase, and last 3 days when the stock has came down, the volumes comparatively has been much higher. So I think this stock would head lower towards 84 levels in probably maybe next 3 to 4 trading sessions itself. So Dish TV could be shorted at current levels, keeping a stop loss above 93 rupees for target of 84. And even when we are speaking about this mid cap space, one should definitely not forget to look at the Nifty mid cap index. The Nifty mid cap index, after a consolidation phase, has given a breakdown from its from the support zone which was created in last 15-20 days. So I think this if the index itself is indicating a bit of further weakness in coming days. So if the index heads lower, definitely many of these names would also head lower along with the index.
All right. Imtiaz, you had mentioned stocks like Indiabulls Housing Finance and Devana Housing Finance that you would look to sell. Are there any mid caps that you would look to buy? Should they fall a little more? Would they look and they would look attractive to you? Are there any such mid cap stocks?
A few days back, I was tracking one is SRE Infra, which has shown a very good performance, and today it has gone into the consolidation and negative zone. And I think so the SRE Infra looks very much promising on the chart. And time horizon would be somewhere around 2 to 3 week of time frame. Stock can go up to you can say 99 rupees to 105. This look very much attractive at this current level, because last 2 days we have seen a hard top high bottom formation. Today profit booking has arisen, but this is the second leg of the profit booking, and the third leg upside we can be seen. And the next would be Star, that is Stride Stride Shashun, you can say, and this has shown a very good performance in today's session. and I think so the stocks has already gone into the bull territory. And if any decline comes in Star, I think so it should be taken as an opportunity for the buy. On the higher side, I'm expecting the stocks can go up to 1250 to 1300 rupees.
All right. Imtiaz, on a very short-term basis, the GST Council meeting is underway, and the expectation is that we will see a rate decision coming through. So, any particular one or two stocks that you would trade in anticipation of that rate being set?
Uh, I think so. There is a very much euphoria in the industry that if GST comes in, then there would be a very much positive for the logistic company. And out of this logistic company, there is a one stock. It's very much attracted this level. 181 would be the very big support for the Al Cargo, and can keep as a stop loss for Al Cargo. On the higher side, I'm expecting 230 to 250 rupees target in very near term.
All right, so all cargo is one stock that Imtiaz will look at, but the market closing has taken place, and we have seen a cut of a third of a percent coming in for the frontline indices. BPCL down 2.5%, Yes Bank flat, Reliance Industries flat, Z Entertainment managing to hold on to the 500 rupee mark. We are seeing Wipro, Infosys, TCS, all of them look very lackluster. Strides, Sashun managed to close of 6% plus. That is, of course, in the news development coming through. It was expected, the agreement with Mylan, that money would come through, $30 million, and the announcement came through today. Strides Sashun ending higher. Asian Paints down 3%, Grasim down 3.5%. We're seeing Kotak Bank up 6%. ABG Shipyard saw a sharp spike up 12%. Maruti flat with a gain of a third of a percent. Hero MotoCorp up a percent plus. GVK Power up 15%. So some of those mid-cap stocks saw good action, and a stock like Ujjas Energy up 2%. It is up 45% in this entire week. Some of our analysts giving targets within 42 higher, even though it spurts every day. Perhaps those levels are coming. ITC managing to see quite a turnaround, 241. Closing with gains. Ashok Leyland up a percent and a half. Hindalco coming off 5% gains, but closing with gains of 4%. Not so lucky for Tata Steel. Tata Steel down 2%. GNFC down 17.5%. So that's the market close for you. The mid caps having a bad day today. Dish TV down 4%. Many of the mid caps lost a lot of ground. Bank of Baroda down 2%, Sun Pharma down 1.5%, Indiabulls Real Estate down 4%. So a number of names from the high beta space, some of the mid-cap banking stocks also seeing quite a lot of selling pressure coming today. Not a good day for the mid-caps. In fact, the Nifty mid-cap 50 down 1.5%. The Nifty 500 down 0.5%. And the mid-caps, the small caps down 1%, the BSE mid-cap index down 1.5%. So a lot of pressure building up in some of the mid-cap names. HUL was flat, Tech Mahindra was flat, Reliance Industries flat. So while we have seen the frontline indices gradually move lower, some of those mid-caps have seen a lot of losses and outsized losses today. Speaking of the big losers from the mid-cap space, Gujarat Narmada Valley Fertilizers down 17% on reasonably large volumes. CESE was down 5%, Glenmark down 3.5%, LIC Housing Finance down 4%. So mid-caps and the small caps having a poor run. Ruchit, do you think some of these large cap IT stocks, after the kind of correction they've seen, are offering value? What would you do with DCS and Infosys?
So probably I would still avoid this even large cap IT names, because we have not seen any kind of reversal formation still taking place. In fact, many of our clients have also repeatedly calling us when asking about whether there is a value buying or whether one should pick up Infosys, HCL Tech, TCS at current levels. But we are not seeing any sort of reversal signs coming in the charts, and even in the recent up move in the markets when we saw during the month of August and September month also, from July to September, even at that time the Nifty IT index was heading lower. So unless we see any kinds of reversals coming in this stock, I don't think that one should do any kind of bottom fishing in these names.
All right, avoid the large cap IT names. We've seen sharp cuts in stocks like TTK Prestige down 8%, MOIL is down 6%, though it had a good run a day earlier. CSE down 5%. Imtiaz, any view on any of these three stocks, TTK Prestige, CSE and MOIL?
I think so. This correction was due for most of the stocks what you had recommended. I would definitely avoid CSC because after today breakdown, the stock has gone into the negative territory. So maybe the positiveness would not arise very soon. It will take longer time to come into the positive territory or maybe a new bull rally. But as of now, if I look after the MOIL and TTK Prestige, yes. Today, TTK, first I will talk about TTK Prestige, that today's support has been taken at a very much, you can say, in trend line. So today low would be very much crucial for the TTK Prestige for the further trading prospect. Somewhere around 5675 is a very strong support has been formed for the TTK Prestige until unless the stocks remain above 5675 on a closing basis. Higher side maybe 86500 can be regained or it can be re-achievable. MOSR, I think so. There is a still some you can say correction is still pending, and the stocks can go back to around 330. But 330 would be a very good level as what we say buy on decline strategy. So for MIL, I think so it should be a buy on decline strategy near somewhere around 330 level. And from there, I can see the third impulsive wave on a higher side will emerge, and this will take the stocks to more than 420, 430 level.
Ruchit, do you have any view on Havells? Havells today has seen a sharp cut, down 4%. In fact, it closed below the 400 mark after a really long time. Do you think it is breaking down on the charts, or is it offering any value? Because for the last at least 6-7 sessions, it looks deeply oversold post its earnings.
Must as we discussed that it's time when the more sort of correction is coming in the mid cap names, and even Havells, although the longer term charts on the Havells still looks positive with the higher top higher bottom formation structure on the weekly and the monthly chart, but on daily chart somewhere the support has been breached in today's session. From last 8 to 9 trading sessions, the stock was trading in a narrow range of 399 400, which was acting as a support. So probably we have closed below the support. That's a first negative sign. This could lead to some sort of profit booking in the stock, wherein the stock could go down around 385 and 373 levels. So although the broader term for the longer term trend for Havells is positive, but in short term, or if we speak of next 2 to 4 trading sessions, we may see some sort of corrective move in this stock.
All right. What about some of the other consumer names? Ruchit, paints and home improvements has been quite a good theme, but Asian Paints post their earnings, that stock has corrected quite a bit. What would you do with some of the paint names? Asian Paints, Berger Paints, Kansai Nerolac. Any view there?
I don't think this Asian Paints would see a further major downside from current levels, because already even after this recent correction from the highs of 1200 1220, the longer term charts would show some sort of support coming in around 975 990 range. So although which is about 3 to 4% lower from current levels, but rather I think in case the stock declines further 3 to 4% from current levels, that could be used as a buying opportunity by medium to long term investors.
Imtiaz, a call on Aurobindo Pharma. For the last couple of sessions, it has lost a lot of ground. In fact, in this week, it's down nearly 5%. For the last 1 month, it's down 11%. Do you think this stock is breaking down? Because amongst the pharmaceutical stocks, it had outperformed so far till about a week back. What would you do with Aurobindo?
Absolutely right. We have seen a very much positiveness coming in the when the market was in a bull side from the level of 8500 to 8900, 8700. Most of the pharmaceutical has shown a very good performance, and the pharma was one of them. But as of now, on an intraday chart, the stocks tend to go more negative, and somewhere around 740, 730 in that level, the stocks can get sustained, and from there we can see some bounce back coming in. But as of now, the trend remains negative for the Aurobindo Pharma. But if looking at this current scenario, I think so. There's a one stock which I would like to highlight. ITC has shown some sort of a breakout in today's trading session, and I suppose this breakout would definitely continue for ITC for another couple of trading sessions. It could see somewhere around 250, 260 immediately in a day or time frame. 230 is a very strong support, and last time also the stock has turned from had moved from 230, and this time 239 to 38 has become a very strong support. Risk reward ratio remains very much favorable for the stocks, around 2 or 3 rupees of risk, and I said can expect 250 to 260 level in next 2 or 3 trading sessions.
All right, so Imtiaz is quite positive on ITC. Thank you so much, Imtiaz and Ruchit, for speaking with us at NDTV Profit, giving us your views on the markets and the stocks that you like. With that, we'll call it a day. The markets have closed in the red. All the updates will continue on NDTV Profit. Stay with us on NDTV Profit. We've got an interview with the top management at Jaguar Land Rover coming through. We'll catch